And we're live.
Good morning, everyone. It's the one, the only V, the Silverback. I might as well be. It's V,
Hey,
the
you can
Gorilla
call
Grounded.
yourself whatever you want. This is your show, bro.
I can call myself the orangutan orator. There you go. With my main man, CJ, a.k.a. El Cuco, a.k.a. the master of the flux capacitor. And we're giving you all the news, all the views, and all the information important to you. Check us out, roguemoney.net. Follow us on Twitter at The Rogue Money and Rogue Money on Facebook. Rogue Money, Steam it. Rogue Money on every single podcasting app known to humanity in this dimension and other dimensions and various solar systems. CJ, we are also the number one geopolitical, geoeconomic, geostrategic podcast in all of the planet Mars. Did you know
that? Yes, yeah. I do. Mars it's a crowded space, but we're there.
Yeah. I mean, I love it, bro. You know what I'm saying? I love it, and I think, we're continuing to grow everywhere. So hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, show us that you love us, and follow us. With that being said, check out our sponsors. Whether you need funds or you need money or you need a better credit score, RemainCalm.net is the place where you can get all that done. RemainCalm.net. Don't freak out. RemainCalm.net. Also, guys, if you haven't done so already, get that silver back because it's on the NSA is on the attack, and you can give them a smack by saying, "Hey, I don't want you looking at my stuff," or you're worried about Spectre and Meltdown because it's affecting all the computer chips out there. It's just been released on every single freaking computer out there in the last 20 years is vulnerable. You want to get away from that. You want to secure your data. You want to make it private. Heck, you want the most advanced encrypted cryptocurrency wallet. Then you need to get yourself. Forget the Trezor. Forget the Keep Key. And put that behind me, and you need to do is you need to get yourself the silverback at mygoldusb.com, mygoldusb.com, mygoldusb.com. Get the silver back while the Spectre and the Meltdown might be on the attack, but it won't affect you because you can give them a smack, and they won't come back. How's that for rhyming, Siege?
I like it, man.
Bad,
I like
it, bro.
I think I may take that clip out. Put a little bit of beat behind it, some nasty cuts.
Seriously.
Beats breaking down. Hip hop mornings.
Hip hop mornings
and CJ.
Yeah, I'm a little too wired for Monday, man. And let's not forget the crypto school.
That's all right.
The crypto school, Siege. You want to learn? You want to learn how to burn in the cryptoverse? Then you need to go on the cryptoschool.io. Don't be slow. Don't be out there being a fiat and bankster hoe. Hey. It's not too late. Go to the cryptoschool.io. Thecryptoschool.io. Learn the best wallets, the best exchanges. Get it in out of fiat fast and in a hurry. Cryptoschool.io. We're also going to be rolling out trading courses pretty soon. So you'll be learning how to trade. You know what I'm saying? Trade and make money, investment grade, like your name is Giovanni Ribisi in that movie Boiler Room. Get it straight over at the cryptoschool.io. With that being said, Siege, I'm done rhyming and beatboxing. I'm ready, bro. What's going on?
Well, I think you're all fired up, V, because the heat wave that's starting to grip the country right now with this upper 20-degree weather. So it's starting to thaw us out a little bit finally.
Yes. It's going to be 30 degrees today, bro. It's the high. Oh, my God. I'm going to be wearing shorts and T-shirts outside, man. I'm going to go ride my bike outside in shorts and a T-shirt. That's what I'm going to do.
Go for it. Time to celebrate.
Well, that's what I'm going to do, man. And, oh, my God, I heard Friday's going to be 49. I'm going to the pool. I'm just going to go into the pool. I'm going to go clean up my pool and I'm going to go jump in it. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. 49 degrees, folks. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be raining, but I don't care. It's time to celebrate, brother.
Those flip-flops are always a hand reach away from me. That's for sure.
That's it, man. I got my flip-flops, got my board shorts, and I'm going to wear a Hawaiian shirt just to piss my wife off. Dude, the Hawaiian shirt is the greatest invention because it literally goes with any pair of pants or shorts or belts or shoes you can wear. You can wear any crazy looking Hawaiian shirt, and it'll go with everything. It's amazing.
You're right. It is. It's amazing. It truly is.
It's incredible, man. My wife. If I bought Hawaiian shirts, my wife would go into my closet and pretty much burn everything that I have in there. I come home, it's all bleached and cut up in ribbons. Anyway, Siege, my main man Ron Paul. Ron Paul said something Ron Paul said something that we were all thinking, CJ. We're all thinking.
He did. He came out and said, V, that it's time for Jeff Sessions to be fired over a marijuana crackdown. And it's something that completely, had gripped a lot of conversations the last few days. And a lot of people were really taken back because it caught so many off guard, including legislatures. So now Ron Paul is out there stating that, hey, listen, this is a huge crackdown. People look at it that don't just look at its face value as far as legalization. It goes further than that. It falls back into the line regarding liberty, freedom, states' rights, so all those things to take into consideration. And we know Ron Paul's a huge, libertarian. And so this decision to do that has a lot of impact, not only in regards to the way the states, it affected some of the stocks dealing with the cannabis industry. And then also, more importantly, it really put some of the GOP on pins and needles, because now they're going to have to own it. They're going to have these conversations, with their constituents back home, talking about why the GOP is doing this. I truly feel this puts them at risk. I don't think that the administration quite understands the massive support for medical cannabis, reaching all-time high of over 70%. Right. This puts them on notice, potentially midterm. The Senate, I'm going to call it already that they'll lose the Senate come midterms and possibly the House if something doesn't get done, regarding this issue.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And that's the whole entire thing. It's just like, here's the deal. Is it worth losing the Senate and the House? Is it worth that? I mean, at this point, you should just go ahead and fire the guy, because the guy doesn't get it. The man is a relic. The man is a relic of bad thinking.
Yeah, he doesn't get it. And, as far as the AGs, they don't create laws, but let's also keep in mind during the former administration's era that they did a lot of things to just pend important topics because they didn't want to take responsibility. They didn't want to make a decision. They didn't want to force the legislatures into doing their job. And we consistently see that with this administration. So we see the same thing in regards to the Dreamers, with giving them the right, where Obama kind of signed an executive order that violated the Constitution, by the way. So, Trump said, you know what, that's not my role to do that. Congress and Senate need to react. And when you have a deadbeat Congress and Senate that are so afraid to make any decisions because they haven't taken their pulse survey from their states to determine what decision to make or how much money has came in from lobbyists. So this is going to force the Congress and Senate to act. And we're seeing a monumental shift where we legitimately, like even in my state, Indiana, which is traditionally a very conservative state, we're seeing a lot of Republicans come over to the legalized side, and not saying that has a national overtone. However, I think that we will see something pretty quickly with regards to national legislation, hopefully to unschedule cannabis altogether, and hopefully to take a look back and get rid of some of the harsh penalties are there, the imprisonment, to decriminalize it as well. So we'll see what happens, V.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I think it's the most ridiculous thing in the world. Jeff Sessions is he needs to get with it. The guy, you can't let good people don't smoke marijuana. You can't do that, bro. You can't do that. Like, who the hell are you to judge? Get off your high horse, man. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Beginning of the end for the Comey and the Lynch. Lynch is going to be Comey's going to be getting lynched. It looks like, bro.
Yeah,
I'm liking
this. But yeah, this is information that's coming out. Michael Horowitz, who testified before the Senate Judiciary Committee in regards to the Office of Inspector General. Now, we witnessed, and this was back to 2012 that he was assigned to this position. Now, he did butt heads with the administration, the Obama administration, and this tied back to the Fast and Furious scandal.
Ooh, the one that
really
Is that the one that the scandal-free Obama said that there was no scandal during his administration? Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, the scandal-free administration. So this is coming to us from Zero Hedge, but the charges forced various inspectors general for all of government agency to request information while conducting investigation, as opposed to the authority to demand it. So Obama and what was his attorney general? I always forget his name.
Eric Holder. Eric Furious Holder.
So they kind of tried to change the rules for the true powers of the inspector general. So that has been flipped. So now we are seeing the inspector general being able to make recommendations to demand requests. So here pretty soon, we're going to see Horowitz, the Office of Inspector General, take their findings. And this is a direct result of them looking into the FBI, the former Attorney General Loretta Lynch, their handling of the entire Clinton email, Uranium One. They will be giving these findings to Congress on January the 15th, which many are speculating will trigger a new official investigation in regards to what transpired there. A special counsel, if you will. So right now we're kind of in a holding pattern. There is a there's a Twitter account called Trump Soldier that has been exposing all of this information as far as what was discovered in this Freedom of Information Act, Request Act, that had the information detailing why they're pursuing this. So you can follow them at Dave NYV III, or just go into Twitter and Trump Soldier, and he's been releasing information since about midnight last night. It's nothing gotcha. It's just kind of going over the facts of why we potentially will see a new special counsel to investigate this. So this is a good thing, V.
It's a great thing, man. I mean, it has to be done. It's time for it's time to corral the horses, man. It's time to bring these guys in and time to take these guys out. No doubt about it, man. No doubt about it. Siege, let's talk about the source of these convenient Yemeni missiles that have been happening. Recently was reported by the Iranian Revolutionary Guard commander himself, Major General Mohammed Ali Jafari, commander of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, slammed allegations as to why it was impossible for Iran to send weapons to the country. Again, this is something, Siege, that you and I talked about. We talked about the insanity, the stupidity, the impossibility that these were Iranian missiles and they came from Yemen and they're Yemeni missiles. Early this week, Saudi media alleged that the latest Houthi missile attack in the southern Saudi Arabia proved that the Iranian regime remains implicated in supporting armed Houthis. Because after all, CJ, according to the narrative by the neocons and the neolibs, Iran is the largest sponsor of terror in the whole world. It's all Iranian-backed. That's right. That's right, folks. You've heard it here first. It was not 17 Saudi hijackers on 9/11. It was, in fact, they were all Iranian. They were all Iranian double agents. That's what it was. It was Iran that blew up our embassies in Africa. It was Iran that was involved in all this stuff. They're also involved, I heard, CJ, in the Sharon Tate murders. I don't know if you knew about that, the Sharon Tate murders.
No.
Iran was also involved, allegedly, in the death of Michael Jackson, the disappearance of Elvis, and the unsolved mystery of both murders of the notorious B.I.G. and Tupac Shakur. It was, in fact, Iran that was involved in all this. But anyway, this terrorist ringleader named Major General Mohammed al-Jafari, says, how is it possible to send weapons, especially missiles? My friend, these are large missiles. These aren't like tiny little Katyusha rockets landing in Israel. These are massive, especially missiles to a country which is fully under siege, and there's no possibility to send medical aid and food stuff. Let that sink in for a second. As for real source of the weapon, the senior official said that the Yemen has sufficient stockpile of its own missiles, which the Houthi rebels have successfully overhauled. Missiles fired at Saudi Arabia belong to Yemen, which have been overhauled and their range has been increased. Now let that sink in for a second, CJ. How is it possible to send weapons the size of these supposed big missiles, right? You can get how can you get that into a country that's fully under siege? In other words, the borders of Yemen are completely sealed off. You can't even get food or medical aid there. Aid agencies, CJ, cannot even get food or medical aid into Yemen, but somehow Iran, because they are masters of terror. They're the masters of terror, and they're responsible for such heinous things, CJ, as the death of Philip Seymour, not to mention the suicide of Heath Ledger while he was filming The Dark Knight. The Iranians, the evil Iranians, were somehow able, using their advanced alien cloaking technology, smuggle large missiles across the border behind a besieged country that has closed borders, border guards, and all sorts of surveillance, while the Red Cross and other aid organizations can't even smuggle a honey bun across the border. But the evil Iranians, the masters of terror, were able to do this. So there you go, folks. That's the real deal.
There you go. That's it.
Unreal. Tweets have consequences, my man. Tweets have consequences. What's going on over here? We're seeing some asymmetric
we know
response.
Sure. So we know last week that Trump had tweeted out regarding Pakistan and the fact that the U.S. giving them $33 billion over the last 15 years, and then in fact we're going to start cutting funds heading to Pakistan. And now Pakistan has retaliated in a very interesting way. So Pakistan's asymmetrical response to Trump is a clever way to flip the tables on Afghanistan. So now what Pakistan is doing, is they're seeking expulsion of over 1.5 million Afghan refugees in the next 30 days, is being tacitly justified by Trump's tweets and channels his zero tolerance stance towards immigration from quote unquote terrorists. But if it all represents the employment of reverse weapons of mass migration in pushing Kabul closer towards the edge of collapse and consequently filling the Taliban's rank of supporters. And this migration that occurred from Afghanistan to Pakistan has been occurring for years, and now Pakistan is going to be, utilizing this refugees, pushing them back into Afghanistan, which will create a lot of issues for the U.S. as well as for the Afghan government.
Well, you look at that. That's hilarious, man. That's funny to see. All of a sudden, you see them. We're like, okay, fine, no more Afghanis, folks. Here's the deal. The western provinces of Pakistan remains a very porous border. It remains very, very porous, especially with the shared borders that it has with Afghanistan, where the Pashtuns, which is basically what makes up the majority of your Al-Qaeda and your Taliban, especially, are able to move in and out of without any sort of recourse, any sort of anything happening to them, regardless. So this is a huge entire thing. People realize that the pressure and the heat is on, CJ. The heat is on. January the 18th. No, I was saying.
No, you go for it.
January the 18th, bro. The dollar kill shot. My man Ken Shorten Jr. over at RogueMoney.net has a great article up. Siege, this is huge news, bro. January 18th is right around the corner. Big news leads out January 18th being the day which China will begin what we have been talking about for many, many years. Yours truly, the notorious, glorious Silverback himself. The supreme ape lord himself has been talking about this for quite a number of years. So has guys like Jim Willie, London Ball, a few other cohorts. You can count on one hand how many have been talking about this for years. And we've been saying this, folks, that the China will be launching a petro yuan. And lo and behold, my man Ken hits it out of the ballpark with this amazing article. The China will begin the yuan-denominated oil contract starting January the 18th, and there are a few other rumors at play at which this gambit could go far beyond that, simply of pricing oil in a currency other than the dollar. It's amazing also, with this being said, that there are some interesting other plays going back and forth between the U.S. and China prior to the quote-unquote alleged reset, and it all stems from Washington's passage of tax reform just before Christmas, which is huge. Because where does Google, Scroogle, and Apple Crapple keep most of their funds, CJ? Where do they keep it?
Overseas.
Bingo, and a lot of European banks. So what happens when you cut taxes and say, hey, Crapple, hey, Scroogle, guess what? You guys could bring your tens of hundreds of billions of dollars you're sitting on. You could bring that home. Then, my friend, you create an insolvency crisis in the banks in Europe, because what happens at that point is this. You see, folks, in America, you could rehypothecate a customer's account up to 140%. Okay? 140%. These offshore banks that are European banks follow the City of London guidelines. The City of London guidelines allows you to rehypothecate a client's account up to infinity. So in other words, these accounts are used as collateral and hyper leveraged to the hilt. So now what's happening with these European banks, they want to start cutting taxes all of a sudden. But they have massive amounts of welfare to pay for. It's going to create a euro crisis, the likes of which we've never seen. While all this is it's a kill shot. We're going to, this is going to provide liquidity for our markets, which is what's needed. Okay, because as soon as Trump passed that, got that tax bill through, many companies, CJ, hundreds of millions of companies have announced, they're investing billions of dollars now going into research. So this is a huge thing. It's a big win for all of us.
Yeah.
What's the next article, brother? We got
just real quick. Just real quick in timing of that, and we've known this for a while, but now the People's Bank of China on Friday is really encouraging even more cross-border and overseas use of the renminbi currency to settle accounts and boosted investment. Banks have been looking to trade in offshore RMB, and that there are a growing need for foreign-funded companies in China to be able to transfer investment revenue overseas. So this directly ties back, to the currency changes that are occurring, globally. In fact, they are reporting that the Chinese yuan, the RMB, has taken over as far as the SWIFT as one of the top traded currencies occurring in terms of international settlement. So this will just only continue. So it was a good tie-in to Ken's articles in regards to the petro yuan.
Absolutely. And with that being said, Siege, we are done and done. What's on the agenda for today, my man?
Yeah, real quick, the team of Rogue Money was on fire this weekend, so go to roguemoney.net, check it out. James, the Russian analyst, is back. He has released his new article, Attacks on Russia, Airbase, Iran likely to increase support for Houthis as payback for CIA-sponsored unrest. So go check that out. So at 10 a.m., we have London Paul delivering another episode of the Serious Report, which is always a great show. So stay tuned. Don't go too far.
Yep, absolutely. With that being said, folks, we are over and we're out. Take it away, CJ.